Hi, I'm Isaac Greenwood, and as part of my campaign for county mayor in Montgomery County, I'm in a more casual setting, just reading through a lot of the concerns that have been coming through the survey on my website, getting them out into the ether, and talking through them and trying to make sure that they're heard. So, just to start, this is a good one. Somebody talking about how they're not removing their kids or not considering removing their kids from public schools because they've had a great experience with Rossview. The Rossview school system, which is always great to hear. We have another one which is concerns about the environment, where there's development without thought of green space and a lack of contribution to sidewalks, traffic issues, and general well-being of residents. I think that's pretty, well, I would say it's pretty universal. There is a lot that we can do around that, specifically when it comes to development standards through the Regional Planning Commission and Buildings and Codes, and traffic issues. A lot of that I think we can be solved. I've talked about this a little bit in other formats, but through smart street planning, roundabouts, surgical cut-throughs, and focusing less on widening arterial roads and more on creating a throughput system where if a crash happens or an accident or anything like that, the traffic can flow through different routes rather than just all down one major thoroughfare. This is Klein, by the way. He's one of my 3 pets. A concern about garbage being everywhere. There's a lot of garbage in Montgomery County. We don't do a great job picking it up. I know I've done some like individualized cleanup as part of the campaign. I think the Boy Scouts and a lot of other clubs do like small cleanups, and we have some holidays around it, but we need to find a systematic way to clean up a lot of the things that kind of just get thrown on the side of the road here. Buses don't provide services for the entire county. Also very true. It's something that we need to work with CTS on. Have to walk 3 miles on areas without sidewalk in a 2-lane road if they want to utilize public transportation, which, yeah, we need to have more bus stops in more accessible areas, and we need to have walkable paths to those bus stops. I often see people who have to like cross the streets or they mentioned walk down roads without sidewalks and in kind of dangerous areas just to get to public transportation. Here's a long one. I am concerned that political and ideological initiatives, including certain civil rights platforms or advocacy efforts, can at times feel disconnected from the everyday financial realities facing working families. My primary focus as a resident is on policies that directly affect cost of living, public safety, infrastructure, education, and economic opportunity. When public resources are allocated, I believe priority should be given to issues that have a measurable impact on residents' financial stability and quality of life. Transparency in budgeting and clear justification for spending decisions would help ensure that taxpayer dollars are being used in ways that directly benefit the broader community. No notes, just 10 out of 10. What about education? Vouchers are just a subsidy for people already sending their kids to private schools. Now they want to increase taxes to make up for what they're taking from public schools to give to private schools. Yeah, the voucher program is, or at least should be, criminal in the way that they're utilizing it and taking it away from public schools. I could talk about it for way too long. Lack of sidewalks leading to parks, such as the one by Outlaw Field. Very busy road with no safe accessibility for children. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about sidewalks a lot. I think specifically sidewalks leading to third spaces like parks would be really, really beneficial for the youth in our community. A lot of the time, the issues that are brought up about youth being out and about and causing issues are caused because they have nowhere to play like we used to have. And I'll probably do one more because it is already pretty late. So this is one about civil rights. We should not be helping ICE and making immigrant parents afraid to send their children to school. Immigrants are the backbone of this country. No human should be considered illegal, especially children. There is a lack of acceptance for the LGBTQ community and a strong push against women's rights. Marijuana should be legalized. The pot for potholes was a brilliant idea. Yeah, I agree with all of this. I think the sad reality is there's a limit to what we can do as a county as opposed to what would be at the state level. We can, to some degree, or at least the sheriff could, to some degree, not work with ICE. Immigrants are the backbone of this country. Immigrants are who founded this country. And I agree that children should not be illegal. And the fact that they considered a bill to not allow the children of immigrants to not be able to go to our public school system. It is crazy. It's actively just insane. And then lack of acceptance for LGBTQ is very common in the South, and for women's rights as well. And again, I agree marijuana should be legal. And it would help fix our infrastructure. It would help with a lot of things. There's a lot of, I think, nuances around it, in the same way that like legality of alcohol was an issue for a long time. I think it's a situation where we've kind of collectively agreed as a society that once you become an adult, once you, especially in my opinion, if you can join the military, you should be able to, within reason, utilize substances, again, within reason. At the very least, it should not be criminalized in and of itself. And yeah, I think I could talk through more of these, but like I said, it is pretty late, so we'll end it there. Thank y'all for listening. Please check out my website, greenwoodformoco.com, and put in your concerns on the survey, or just reach out directly to me. Thank you.